In October 2022, the White House released the blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights. This non-binding text lists 5 principles that safeguard AI users' freedoms, including the right to be protected from unsafe or ineffective systems. Is this a step in the right direction?
Yeah, it's a very positive step. And of course, any attempt to deal with a very complex issue, so you have different suggestions, you try something, maybe it doesn't work so well, you try something else. It's a process. It's not like we have these fixed principles and that's it, we solve the problem. I would like, though, to point out one very significant element, which is that we need to think beyond the level of a single country. We need to think beyond the level of a specific democracy even. The question is often global, because we see global immense disparities in power between different parts of the globe. One of the biggest dangers with AI is that this technology is being developed by a very small number of countries. The United States and China are, of course, the 2 big ones. Then you have maybe half a dozen or a dozen additional countries, which are important. And most countries are not really in the game. They are affected, of course, by the technology, but they are not the ones leading the AI revolution. And there is a very big danger that what happened in the 19th century with the Industrial Revolution will again happen in the 21st century with the AI revolution. That the few countries who develop the technology will have the power to dominate, exploit, maybe even conquer all the rest. In the 19th century, to control a country, you needed to send the soldiers in, to send an army in. In the 21st century, increasingly to dominate a country, you don't need to send the soldiers in, you just need to take the data out. If you have all the information on every politician, every judge, every military officer, every citizen in some small country in a part of the world, you can control it from a distance. And also economically, if the immense wealth generated by AI will make a few rich countries even richer, while undermining the economies of much of the world, this again, it's a huge, huge danger. And when we think about AI, yes, we have to focus on questions like the ones you mentioned in this document, of how to protect the citizens of an individual democracy. But we always also need to have a plan for how to protect humanity as a whole from such dangerous developments like an increase in global inequality.
What are your thoughts? Audrey?
Yeah, definitely everything you've said. And I would also add one thing. I think the current generation of language models show a possibility actually for linguistic communities around the world to equalize the playing field of their local knowledge, their local language and so on, if they're given the kind of rights as language communities to collectively determine what goes into the language model, how the language model is used, and whether the language model enhances their cultural norms or destroys their cultural norms. I totally agree that countries are maybe not the best abstractions to think about this. Just like we mentioned the pandemic or ozone or anything that is truly global in nature probably should not be ruled on a country boundary. But language models or social cultural constructs that are based on linguistic boundaries, that are actually a pretty good abstraction. We've already seen, for example, people in Iceland taking a hold of their own language represented in the OpenAI language models through an early partnership. And now here in Taiwan, because we have 20 national languages, some Austronesian, some based on kanji, and including the Taiwan Sign Language, we're also investing a lot to make sure that the language communities in Taiwan gets the kind of honor and dignity in their culture with the language models, instead of everybody now suddenly having to learn perfect Mandarin or English or other dominating languages. So I would advise thinking along the linguistic and cultural boundaries more compared to the jurisdictional boundaries.
Hello, I'm Professor Yuval Noah Harari. See you on Taiwan Plus.
Hello, I'm Audrey Tang, Taiwan's digital minister. See you on Taiwan Plus.